is there like any sort of fun anecdote that you maybe have of like a little bit of a gross type of situation you've had to navigate as a leader of the org? Like I'm not going to ask you to dig into the technical stuff. I don't think we want to talk about technology that old, but we can dig into we can sort of, I'm curious if there were any, gross situations you've had to tackle as leader of the gross group here.
In terms of like the difficult problems that need to be navigated. Yes, tons and tons. I think what's interesting is that it's such a social art, even though it's a very technical job. At the end of the day, code needs to be written, technical things need to be done, but a lot of the challenges come from engaging community, and that includes internal community as well as the external, larger open source community. When we started this whole thing, G-Research was a very, very insular and cloistered universe that was very, very protective of itself and really didn't want to communicate to anybody about what they were doing. And all of a sudden I show up and I'm like, hey, I'm the open source dude. Hey, let's talk about what you're doing. And you could see all of these people sort of regarded like, who are you? Is this some red team ruse that like they're trying to open me up to see what secrets I would give away and then make an example of me? Like there were lots of people who honestly thought that I was some bad guy who was trying to infiltrate their ranks. And so there have been a couple of levels of this. I mean, first of all, there was that initial level of just like, who is this guy? And then once people got comfortable with me, getting the next wave of team members comfortable with, or the G-Research people comfortable with the next wave of team. But at every point, that still needs to be reestablished. We just had a situation last couple of weeks where we were doing some really good cleanup of the public repos in GitHub that we have, and we had forgotten to take the initial step of reaching out to the maintainer. In this case, the maintainer was somebody who works at G-Research, and but because it's an internal person, we sort of skipped that step, a step that we would absolutely do if it was an external project. And it was just a reminder that internal projects shouldn't be treated any differently from external projects, that this is still, as I say, a social art, that we need to talk to people and need to meet them where they're at before, because if we just go in and start making unilateral changes to their project, they will rightfully be kind of annoyed by it. So, just a reminder. Yeah.